Oh, baby, it's McClunky Squad.
McClunky!
McClunky!
Monkey!
I don't know if anyone was listening to the beginning. I played the wrong clip.
What'd you play?
I think that's better.
I played Brujo doing the "Oh baby, it's McClunky." So
I think that, like,
first thing.
leading into the song with that clip made it so much better. I thought that was intentional.
No, it's totally fine because I just
That was
played
great.
I played it and was like, "Oh, this is not the right clip thing." Oh my god, thank you though for bearing with us in that comedy bit right there. That was fucking great. I was crying over here. Oh my god. All right.
Are you
let's
guys
talk.
you guys ready to talk about the worst example of Star Wars in Star Wars history?
Shut up.
Are you
Me
serious?
either, because this episode was the
Oh.
shit!
Oh my god, dude! Stop it!
Richard, I was so worried because me and AJ were like hyping this one up. We were like, that was
We were like,
fucking
this
awesome.
is like the
Dude.
best, easily the best episode of the season.
This is peak Star Wars, dude. I was cheesing like a fucking child, dude. I was sitting down, I was laughing, I was like clapping my hands together. Like
This
I was
whole
so excited.
Episode was a well encapsulated just arc. It was so well done.
So good, dude. Every single bit of this episode was
Every
amazing.
second, I loved it. It was
Right?
Oh, I'm
I
so
don't think
thankful
there's
to
a
hear
dull
that too,
moment.
though, because like I was worried that you'd say you weren't into like the Carson Teva stuff, like the New Republic bits, but like you were even into
Nah,
that,
that
Richard?
shit was rad. Yeah,
I
dude.
fucking-
Okay.
I mean, the New Republic stuff needs some spotlight on it because otherwise it exists in one movie.
Yeah.
And then it's gone. So seeing the New Republic stuff is great. I still don't care for fucking Dr. What's her face or the Moff Gideon sidekick.
Yeah,
But that was set up nicely. I love seeing the New Republic not getting involved and still showing that they're kind of shitty.
Yeah.
I
Um,
love that. I think that I can't remember Tim Meadows. That's his name. I don't know why that suddenly came to me, but like, that fucking actor was like the perfect choice for that guy. Like just the way
Yeah.
that he was like, oh, they're not a part of the New Republic. Ooh, like. It was like, Jesus Christ, we're still falling into the same problems that the previous Republic was doing, which I think is kind of the message of this era, is that like Luke goes back and tries to do the Jedi in the same way, and it doesn't work. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's like, why did you try to do it in the same way when it failed? And then the Republic is kind of doing the same thing.
Do it better.
Yeah, the New Republic stuff, cool. I'm always happy to see X-Wings, but like, dude, I got to see Mandalorians doing Mandalorian shit.
Dude, this episode fucking, like, I loved Mandalorians before, but this, like, solidified it. I was like, they are awesome.
They're
It
dope
was
as fuck.
so refreshing to see them do something other than stand around in a cave. Like 3 seasons in and like we haven't seen them do like all the Mandalorians doing shit since season 1.
Yeah, I was about to say, because I don't think in season 2 we even saw we didn't see the covert, or did we? I don't think Armor was in season 2, was she?
I straight up
In
don't
Book of
remember.
Boba Fett.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
what I'm saying.
remember.
Like she was like that feels more like the season 2 of Mando to me.
Season 2 and Book of Boba kind of blur together for me.
Yeah, that's
But,
I
like,
feel like they
I-
intended that, and it's weird.
Holy moly, this episode gave me fucking chills, dude. Seeing a whole bunch of different Mandalorians, seeing them speak, seeing them be fucking tactical for
They
once
had
and
fucking
using their
Zeb
equipment.
in this.
Boy.
Oh, we're jumping to that. But when he came on screen, folks, I
I
screamed.
screamed.
Because I heard the voice, and I was like, it's him.
Because like he walked up, I'm like, is that fucking like is that Zeb's race?
Oh,
and then,
I know,
then he
right?
talked, I was like, that is Zeb.
It's straight up just Zeb,
Oh
yeah.
my
That was
God.
wild. I
And he
completely
looked
forgot
really
about that.
Good is the thing. Like
He looks so good.
I was Lasats are going to be a weird one in live action. Like
Yeah.
they did in Fallen Order, and I was like, that's kind of live. Like, it's not live action, yeah, but it's like realism.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay.
Also, when they were in that like I don't know, that like fucking New Republic
bar.
like cantina.
That's a better word, yeah.
I thought I was gonna hate this, but I really love that they played the Star Wars equivalent of grunge music.
Oh my god, the music in this was peak.
That scene was. I had a double take for a fucking hot second. I'll be honest, because when they were, it showed a few people playing pool, and I actually the first time I saw it thought it was a just straight up pool table. I was like, that
Regular
is,
pool.
It was like some
imagine Star Wars, but
pool.
it's just actually they have pool tables with 8 balls and everything like
It
that.
was like some shitty like cross between pool and
Air
and
hockey.
what shuffleboard was
yeah,
it?
yeah, yeah. It had,
Yeah.
like the shuffleboard sticks. Yeah.
You guys have you guys have no idea how hard it is for me right now to like try to maintain some level of fucking discipline and format to this because I just want to like gush about this episode.
Absolutely. I mean, like that's the thing, right?
It
There's
was
so much
so
all over
good.
the place, and it's so good.
Dude,
Right? Like
fucking IGN gave it a 6.
Like
what?
are they
Yeah.
talking about? What do they give? other
IGN is
episodes?
fucking stupid when it comes to stuff because they gave
That's
other
insanity.
episodes that I was like that was a very weak episode. They gave it like 8.
Oh my god!
I think okay, so I'll play devil's advocate for a second, and I can assume that they probably rated it lowly because from a plot perspective, not a lot going on this episode. This episode was just cool.
I don't know if I agree with that either, though. I feel like there is a lot that kind of happens in this.
I mean,
episode.
there is.
You know,
too.
actually, yeah, fuck that.
'Cause, like,
Fuck IGN.
The-
That's
the-
completely
I feel like
bullshit.
It's a good point to like bring up the fact that like they are moving out from this bullshit cave that we don't like into now Navarro in like
They have a home,
right. They're
They
gonna
have a home.
which is like the implications of that are so huge. Like the Mandalorians, all of them now have a new home planet, and they are
Hell
gathering.
yeah.
Well, okay, that's okay. I'm not okay. I love this episode so much, but my one little teeny tiny issue thing kind of came up where they're offered this land on Navarro, and then immediately they're like, "Okay, but now we're gonna fuck off and retake Mandalore." And like, I get that that's like our main goal, but it just feels like a little bit too like quick. Like, I kind of wanted to spend time on Navarro with this group, if you know what I mean. I don't know. I just
Wait,
feel like
When did they say they were going to retake Mandalore? I didn't catch
at
that.
the very end, like, what's her nuts? The armor is like, Bo-Katan is gonna get all these people together. We're gonna unite the clans, and we're gonna retake Mandalore.
Oh, I didn't catch the retake Mandalore part, but I don't think that they're going back to Mandalore to stay. I think they're going back to Mandalore to like get shit and go.
I
I don't think it's like an inhabitable planet anymore. But still, seeing Bo-Katan like fully embrace the creed, seeing the armorer tell Bo-Katan to go fucking gather the clans, so sick. And I wonder if this like, are we gonna get Boba?
Oh yeah, I assume that Boba will show up in this in some capacity. I don't think
It makes me wonder, like, is Bo-Katan are we gonna get a Boba cameo where like Bo-Katan talks to him?
That's the thing. I kind of had the feeling where have you guys felt like they're kind of shifting away from Din Djarin to more Bo-Katan central?
absolutely. And I'm confused by that, but I'm okay with it. I don't know.
I mean, it's
I'm-
still
I'm-
Mandalorian.
I think like, look, Din's cool, and I think Din's gonna be here for a little bit. But the shift to Bo-Katan, kind of needed to happen. She's kind of a big deal, probably a bigger deal than Din.
But I
But
think
also,
this is a
if
big
we're
deal,
being
but I think that like it's still like it should still be his like
Yeah,
Well-
but like it's kind of ending like his story. Like, what are they gonna do?
So
Yeah, but
here's my personal theory on this. I don't think Din is the Mandalorian. I think every Mandalorian is the Mandalorian.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
that's definitely like the like I
That-
think
that's
that
what
even be
that's
like
the genius of
like,
calling it the Mandalorian because they can
Right.
literally just do anything.
It,
Yeah,
it
it's like
could be
Grogu
Boba,
the
it could be Bo-Katan, it could be Grogu. Like they could do anything. It could be Paz at this point. Paz was the shit in this episode.
Oh, dude, him like staying up and be like, oh, he's gonna fucking start shit, and then siding with Din. I was like, yes.
That was so rad.
yeah, that was fucking awesome.
I don't know about you guys.
Think,
But when I'm jumping ahead here, but like when the pirate ship crashed into the planet, the explosion that came out of that, like the visuals on that explosion were perfect.
yeah, like
I had
this
a
is
moment where I was worried because we know that Navarro is like a fucking like magma planet that's like gonna
Oh
blow.
my God, yeah.
So I thought that crashed in, and there was like a mountain of like a volcano in the background. So I was like, "Is that about to fucking explode? Like, what's happening?"
I think like I hate to say this because it kind of breaks my immersion a little bit, But I think they're probably trying to get away from Din Djarin specifically because Pedro Pascal is becoming like A-list.
Yeah.
And he's probably expensive. So
That
it does.
kills me.
It makes more sense for them to shift to like Katie Sackhoff, who's no doubt cheaper, or to shift away to ever showing Pedro Pascal's face again so that he's strictly voice acting.
See, and that's another thing that I'd like to bring up, though, because I feel like this show we're going to... I was surprised. I thought at the end we were maybe even going to see them take off... A couple other people were going to take their helmets off or some shit. Like, I think that we're moving to a time where the way is shifting, it feels like, where it's like we can change.
I don't think so. I think it's the opposite, and I like it the opposite.
I think... okay, when you interpret that, like... That's where I was also, like, the armor still is a little uneasy as a character for me, where it's like, she says, like, go bring these other clans, like, into our covert or whatever, into our fold. And, like, does that mean that they're going to take the creed and get the helmet rule and all that shit? Because I don't think that a lot of them are going to be vibing with that. You know what I mean?
I think that that's exactly what they're going to do, and that's why they're sending Bo to do it. Because if Bo will do it, then they will too.
I don't know.
You see what, like they're sending Bo out because Bo-Katan walks both ways. She grew up in a very different Mandalorian culture than the Children of the Watch, and so Bo's going out because Bo is the actual like by blood leader of the Mandalorians. They will all follow suit with her, and if Bo-Katan takes the creed, so will they.
But they
absolutely
won't follow her though, because we saw as the beginning of the season, like she's not able to.
That wasn't because they wouldn't follow her. That was just because there wasn't anything to follow.
Well,
there wasn't anything to do.
Saber.
Right. Well, there was nothing for them to do either.
Well, I mean,
her quest had ended.
I mean, not really. She still said that they were like trying to go around and do shit.
What do you mean? She spends 2 episodes sitting down. Her quest was over.
Well,
there was nothing for her to do until she got re-involved.
And the other guy left her. Like, that's what she said. She was like, yeah, no.
Right. They left her because her quest was over.
No, because she doesn't have the Darksaber. She literally said that. She literally
said that is the ending of her quest. That's what I'm saying. She doesn't have the Darksaber, therefore there is nothing for her to do. Therefore, there's no reason for Axe Woves and fucking other girl to hang out with her anymore. What are they going to do? Sit in the chair with her?
Yeah, she's not the cool kid anymore.
But I don't still then she's going to go out and be like, yo, like, you want to join the cool group of Mandalorians that we were, or the
Mandalorians
that we were like shitting on the other.
Damn. Just because she started a new quest doesn't mean the old quest is still ongoing, you know?
Right, like her old quest is over. There's no reason for the other Mandalorians to hang out with her because she's literally not doing anything. So they're going to go off and find work, which we can see now is probably freeing Moff Gideon because somebody paid them to do it. So
is that what you think happened?
100%. Absolutely.
Do you think the theory is that, like, I saw the theory that Moff Gideon's getting his own Mandalorian armor?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
But like, if he does, Beskar? Like, I'm confused.
It is super important to point out that Mandalorians are not good guys. They are mostly bounty hunters. They take jobs. So, do I think that Mandalorians are the ones that freed Moff Gideon? 100%. The Empire paid them to do it. Yeah. I think we're probably going to see Bo-Katan having to deal with that.
Some people think that they're going to be using Beskar for either the Dark Troopers.
I thought that was already what they used last season because they were like unshootable.
Well, then how did the lightsaber cut through them so easily?
Exactly, like that was an inconsistency in that season. I felt.
Well, I don't think they were Beskar because I think that's the implication that they're going to be upgraded with Beskar.
Let me look this.
I don't think that they were even unshootable. They were very much shootable. Well, they just didn't have the firepower to take them down.
I mean, they were like. I'm pretty sure that like they were like setting them up as like very unkillable. Let me look this up.
We saw them die. We saw them die.
Well, yeah, because otherwise, Luke wouldn't be able to like cut through them so easily.
Yeah, I don't think it was ever.
That was like an inconsistency. What armor do Dark Troop? Just metal frick. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I don't think it was inconsistent. I think it's an intentional thing to show that they're incredibly powerful droids. It's no different than like showing like super battle droids. Like some droids are just tough as shit.
Yeah, but like I don't know. But the super battle droids are inconsistent as fuck too, because you see just a clone trooper walk up to one and a pistol takes it out.
Sure,
like, that's what
still
I'm saying.
Star Wars is inconsistent at its core, I guess.
Yeah, but like theory behind like Moff Gideon potentially getting his own armor, it comes from like him having the Darksaber, meaning like people are following him, like Mandalorians see him as a Mandalorian.
They would. They've done it in the past.
Yeah, so like it's It's possible. It might not, definitely, but it's possible.
If I don't know, like, because
If he came in with his cool Darth Vader-esque Mandalorian armor, I think that'd be
I
cool.
don't know if I'd vibe with that. I don't know if I would enjoy that.
I totally hate that.
I'd be like, I don't know about this one. Giancarlo Esposito is cool enough in his like Imperial getup, but like,
Yeah, like
the
the
open
reason-
face, obviously, so you can see Giancarlo.
like maybe
Like,
like
they-
some
they
armor,
followed-
sure, but I don't know. Like,
They followed Maul because Maul won in fair combat, and Mandalorians respect that. There's no reason for like if Moff Gideon put on Mandalorian armor, they first of all the other Mandalorians would be like, take that off.
well, there
Yeah.
is like a huge fan theory too that Moff Gideon was Mandalorian. Like that's why he has the dark saber.
Yeah,
He just
that was
switched
one
sides.
theory.
Like there's a lot of theories going around this character, but like I just
Which
want
I
them to
love,
say-
man. I love the theories.
I love theories too, but I would love them to fucking just say something at one point. You know, Bo-Katan should at one point be like, "I lost the dark saber," and he fucking got it. Like I don't know, that'd be nice. Like,
I dropped it and he just picked it up. I
literally,
guess that's
like,
how it
I
works
would
now.
be okay with that. I'd be literally like, if she was like, "Yeah, in a battle against the Empire, I fucking lost against him, and I didn't manage to pick up the fucking dark saber with my lasso."
Yeah, I would like an explanation as to how the hell he got the dark saber.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
But we might get that this season. Who knows?
think so.
He's definitely coming back.
Oh my god, yeah.
I suspect Bo is probably going to approach Boba, and Boba's going to turn her down.
Yeah, I don't think the Boba would be like in with this to like the Creed
He-
degree,
yeah.
but I think that he'd be like, "I'll help." Like,
Yeah, I can see him helping, but I don't see him joining the Children of the Watch, mainly, which I don't even think that's a fair name anymore. They're just the Mandalorians now. But I don't think he joined them specifically because he outright said that he's never claimed to be a Mandalorian.
Yeah.
So I don't think that that's his deal. You know, I think he'll help because he owes Den, but that's it. And then he'll leave. He'll fuck off. He'll get in his ship. Or like, here's my prediction. There's going to be a big fight, and then they're going to be like, "Oh no, we're really getting beat up," and then a ship's going to come down. Wah, 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 wah. Ship flies down. A little bomb drops. Camera focuses on the bomb. It zooms in. Boom! Fucking seismic explosion. Slave 1 shows up. Da-da-da-da! Like the music kicks in. Boba Fett's here now, and Boba
love
Fett
it.
saves the day. And then he hops out, and he's like, "I just came down to make sure all of you were going to be all right. Now I'm going to fuck off."
it's good.
Why?
I feel like it'll be something like that for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Bo-Katan's gonna jump down on a giant mythosaur. It's gonna be so cool. That's not gonna happen.
All right, and then I'll get $1 Venmo to me immediately at midnight.
No. That was only if Din gets on the Mythosaur. I'm Bo.
There will be no
I thought
mythosaur.
it was just if we see the Mythosaur again, pretty much.
I
Like,
said specifically if Bo-Katan hops on the Mythosaur and challenges Din.
I'm
I
pretty
do
much
not think
saying
we
here
will see a
that we're gonna
Mythosaur.
see the fucking Mythosaur, and it's that's it, pretty much. Like,
I do expect for Bo to have to fight Din, but I no longer think she's gonna be a villain. I think it's going to be like an honorable combat.
Honorable. Yeah.
But, like that's the fucking problem with that shit. It's like that's what I was saying that already at the end of season 2. Just set up a fucking little match here where it's honorable, but it's apparently that's not how it goes, right? Because Pre Vizsla, had to get his fucking head cut off. You know what I mean? Like maybe it is by death.
Because I think it is like battle to the death. But then why does Din have in? Because
True.
Moff
Fucking
Gideon's still
sure,
alive.
if I were Bo-Katan, I'd be like, yeah, you gotta kill that motherfucker.
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't know, and I'm sincerely excited to see how they play this out.
Yeah, I'm excited to learn how it's gonna go. For sure.
Yeah, because they know it's got to be there is still this tension between Bo and Din that this Darksaber situation has to be addressed, and we got to see in this episode that maybe the armorer thinks that Bo is the one that should be doing this, not Din.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see.
Yeah,
And
which-
honestly, I agree, and frankly, I think Din would too.
It hurts my soul though, because it feels like the rest of the show was really building towards like Din being like, oh yeah, I'm a leader. I'm like a natural guy that like I show up and I fucking bring people together and we do shit.
I really like seeing the opposite from Din. I like seeing that Din is very fatherly and caring, but he is not a natural leader, and he doesn't want to be a natural leader. I really like that that's his kind of thing. It's just neat to see, the main character is not the stereotypical hero type, you know? I
Yeah.
really enjoy that. I like seeing that Bo is more of like the natural leader that should be the one taking over.
I'm
who
calling
knows?
this now. This is my theory. It's not this season, but Bo-Katan will die. And she will be like, Din, you have to do this.
That I feel like that the only reasonable way for us to handle the Darksaber situation is for either Bo to die or Din to die. I think Din's going to be the one that dies.
Ooh,
That'd be crazy.
the title character.
The balls on this show if they did that.
I think
if
that's
they
what's
did
going to
that-
happen.
Respect. I won't watch
No,
anymore, but
No,
respect.
I'd watch for sure. But I'd be fucking tripping balls that episode, dude. I'd be like, what
Yeah,
the hell?
I mean,
they never
again,
sacked it.
I suspect that it would probably be like a finale and then the end of the show.
Oh,
But
okay.
I do think Din is going to die. And the primary reason is again, Pedro Pascal's too expensive.
Yeah.
They can't
But like,
afford
how
him
long do
anymore.
we think the show's gonna go for? Then you think? Because they're already confirmed season 4 at least. So like,
Probably one more season, I think,
5
and then it's
seasons?
done. I think we'll get a season 4 and that's it.
oh really?
Yeah, I
Oh,
don't think
okay.
there's much else to do after season 4. Like, what
Yeah.
we'll see, we'll see that the Mandalorians get a new home planet, which we got. We'll see the Darksaber situation handled this season, and then the last season we'll probably see
The Mythosaur, obviously.
we'll definitely see a sort of rise of Mandalorian culture again by the end of this season, and probably more into the next season.
Watch
And then
them
the
do like a 100-year time skip. Navarro's complete his new Mandalore.
I'd
covered
be
in-
so fucking cool with that. I'm so serious. Like, I want nothing more than for Star Wars to skip ahead by like a century or two and just get past all this garbage.
I'm
Yeah.
down.
I'm down too, man.
Like,
Well,
just move past the Skywalker shit, get past the new movies, establish the Mandalorians as a thing, and move away from this shit.
Well, I'm fine with them like filling this era out, like while still doing other things. It's fine.
It just feels pointless, though, is the problem. Like, I like that they're filling this era out as well, but it's gonna end badly.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like that other era in 200 years, they're probably gonna have a thing in like 700 years where it goes shitty.
Maybe, but
I don't know.
right now, we absolutely know that this is all going to be for nothing. So that makes me not give a shit about this era of Star Wars.
Well, I
Where
just
it's
I
like,
like to see the politics
cool.
kind of like in contrast to the Phantom Menace, where it's like the politics suck. I like to see the politics in this, where it's like seeing how the New Republic just falls into the same traps that the Empire did. Like, I think
Me
that
too.
is interesting.
I like that as well, but I think that they're also doing that specifically so that we don't like the New Republic because
Yeah.
they're going to die.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Also, I've heard people theorizing that like they're gonna like, cause like maybe the New Republic will rally and help, but if that happens, then that's even stupider. Like,
No, they definitely
they
won't.
should
No way.
not. If anything, I think the New Republic needs to like be a, like you're saying, like it almost needs to be like a secondary, like shitty, not antagonist, but like just a non-helpful person that's around that kind of
Well,
hinders the party.
they can't help because it is imperative that the New Republic is not aware of the new Empire growing.
But
they can't know
like, but they do know of warlords and stuff like
The
that.
fist
Like, that's the
order.
thing. Like,
Yeah, they know of like stuff, but it's really important that they are not wise to the fact that the Empire is growing again. Otherwise, the new trilogies are ruined. Which,
Yeah.
to be fair, they suck anyway.
yeah, they're
But-
ruined anyway. But yeah,
They're
but
redeemed. Well,
I don't think we'll get anything else from the New Republic in this show. I think that if anything, they're trying to show that the Mandalorians are independent and that they don't fall into Empire or Republic. They're just doing their thing, trying to survive. But boy, am I excited to see where this show goes. I don't know if we'll get another badass episode like this.
yeah, I don't know, man.
right? Yeah, 'cause it was so fucking good. It was like, damn,
This
well,
episode
guys,
was the shit, dude.
This was just a well-enclosed story.
Right? Dude,
Great
seeing
beginning,
rando
and-
Mandos doing stuff like the one guy that like shoots out his grappling hook around the pirate and then like pulls him in and clotheslines him. I was like, yes, boy,
The
what?
fucking guy that surfs on one of the ships as he's shooting
Bro!
down into it.
When I saw that, I jumped out of my chair and I was like, who is that guy?
let's get a fucking book on that guy, please.
That guy is the shit,
Maybe the Mandalorian should be about him.
right?
Like, that was
dude,
so cool.
that was the coolest shit. And it's like they're just gonna. This guy just surfed on a ship and killed the pilot from the outside, and they're just gonna like just gloss
blasts
away
the-
from that shit. Like what the
Blasts
fuck?
engine, kills the pilot, and flies away. You're like, what a
That man
badass.
landed on a goddamn fighter jet with a jetpack. That's the coolest shit, dude. Like everything about this episode was just chef's kiss. Even like the practical effects on the pirates were great. I really like this antagonist pirate, not the one that died, but the one that got away. Vane, I think. Vane is just cool.
I like Green Shard. I liked him.
I did too.
The first episode where I was bitching about these guys, the pirates, I fucking hated them. Sure. I like Green Shard in this episode. He was fucking.
Oh, dude, I love the pirates. I love that they called themselves the Pirate Empire. I liked the practical effects on old Greg.
Yeah, I love like Paris was saying like while we were watching, she was like, his mouth isn't synced up to what he's saying. I was like, I don't give a fuck. I love it.
Yeah, who
Like,
cares? It's
Star
great.
Wars.
Yeah, I love that, dude.
That, like the what was it, Ugnaught?
Yeah, the Kuil in season 1. Yeah, he's never synced.
Right, and like
It's the
even
charm.
One on a ship.
the design
Oh,
of
right. Oh, that's what you're
the
talking about.
pirate ship
You look
too.
like fucking Mr. Schmee.
The design of that what do they call it? Like a Corsair class ship or whatever. The pirate ship though.
I think
it was so cool.
It's not taken from Legends, but it's very similar to Palpatine's. I can't remember what it was called. Might have been just the Eclipse. Yeah.
It reminds me
Gotcha.
of the
ship was rad though.
the Hammerhead ships that were in Rogue One.
Yeah, it's like nice and smoothed out too. It's got like I just loved it. It's so cool looking.
It was a lot rounder than most ships in Star Wars are, and it made it really pop. It stood
Yeah.
out. It had a really,
think-
really cool design.
I think Vane is coming back.
Oh yeah, I think Vane is going to report to Gideon or something like that. Honestly, because I think they were
yeah.
like talking about. I liked how Carson Tev was saying these are all connected. I do think that is true. Like that's
Dude.
these guys were not working for maybe, but like in cahoots with
Yeah.
Gideon.
There's definitely some kind of connection, and I suspect, rather than Moff Gideon getting Mandalorian armor, what we'll see is Moff Gideon now has 2 Mandalorian bodyguards.
I'm just watching all these explosions happen on the Corsair, and like they are
great.
so perfectly
Yeah.
made. It looks so good.
What's the other girl's name? There's Axe Woves, and then there's
Oscar Reeves.
Casca Reeves. I think that those 2 characters will be back, but they are going to be the ones who freed Moff Gideon, and they are now working for him as a bodyguard. We'll see, but I think that's going to be the case.
Man, that would be so fuck. I would be pissed. I'd be like, kill these bitches. Kill these.
Oh man,
traitors.
I'd love that because they're not traitors though. They're doing exactly what Mandalorians do, what they've always done.
But I mean, we just like spent the
They-
whole like
they
last
took a
season,
job.
like- yeah, it took a job, but I mean, like that's just like the bounty hunters side of the Mandalorians. Like Mandalorians are like warriors and stuff like that. Like quote unquote. Take the
Yeah,
job.
they are, but like it is also like a cultural thing for them to be the best bounty hunters in the galaxy. And most
Am I
of the
doing-
time, they're known for being the best because they don't back out of their jobs.
See, for me, like I just picture that as Boba Fett. Like that's like he's just the best. He's the best at what he does, and what he does isn't very nice.
I mean, that is Boba Fett's story, but it's also like every Mandalorian story before this show. Like before this show and the Clone Wars. Like that's just what in Legends, that's what Mandalorians did. They were bounty hunters. But I can see, like, I don't think it's going to be like an antagonistic thing. I don't think that we're going to get like Bo-Katan versus Casca Reeves and Axe Woves. They might fight a little bit, maybe, but they're not going to like, join the Empire. Like they're just taking a job, and it's going to be up to Bo-Katan to like sort this out. But I think that'll be interesting. I think it's cool to see that too, because that's how it should be. We should see antagonistic Mandalorians. They're not good guys.
Well, I do think that some of these factions that we're going to see are going to be like negative. Like we could see some remnants of the Imperial. What did they call them? They were in Rebels. I can't remember what they were, but they were like the side of the Mandalorians that did join the Empire.
Mm-hmm.
Can't remember what they were.
We can see some of them. Maybe we'll see more Mandalorians because they
Maybe.
still do exist.
Oh yeah.
That'd be cool to see Mandalorians and like. I know that we talked about this last week with the whole armor's like helmet and shit. I just want to see some fucking references to things like that and like actually confirm things that we just I don't know.
I think that the armor is best the way
She's a
she is.
mystery.
I don't want to. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it'll ruin her character to like give
When
her a
she was
thing.
she was walking with Bo-Katan and like everyone was like looking at them, I thought she had her helmet off
Me
too.
too.
I was like, don't do this. No.
No, I wanted it. I fucking wanted it so bad.
I mean, I do, but I don't want it.
I do.
I'm glad that Katie Sackhoff took her helmet off because I just have the hots for her.
Me too.
Yeah.
I've had the hots for Katie Sackhoff since freaking Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah, dude.
So
she's a
in like the battle with the Corsair, I was expecting Carson Teva to like show
No,
up.
I thought he was gonna show up too, actually.
Because like he was acting like he was gonna like be a one-man army going in there by himself, or like trying to get the Mandalorians to help.
Oh, I also
So I thought he was gonna show up.
I
but-
really liked how when Carson Teva showed up at the covert, like they did bring up that R4 or whatever was the one, or
Yeah.
R5 was the one that.
That was pretty.
Yeah,
good.
because
I
when he
was
was
like-
finding it, I was like, how the fuck did he find
I
them?
was like, how easy is it to find this fucking thing?
Yeah.
So I'm glad
that was
that
neat.
was covered. Okay.
Also,
That was
did you guys notice that Trapper Wolf was in this episode
Yes,
too?
the fuck all three from all the three directors were in it. Dave Filoni, Deborah Chow, and Rick Famuyiwa in that bar scene. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh wow, I
She
didn't
was-
know that.
And they were all in that episode with Bill Burr where they broke that one Twi'lek guy out of prison. They broke him out,
Yeah.
so I assume it's the same three characters. I will say that with confidence. Trapper Wolf, I think is his name. He got his
Yeah.
hat.
Yeah, they have fucking Dave Filoni's hat.
It's literally in canon now. Like he wears that shit.
Oh
This
boy.
was a good fucking episode, man.
I
This was a
fucking
really-
love this. Like
really good
honest, like
episode.
I said it, like this might be like top 3
Yeah,
like of the show. You
I
know,
think that this to me is like on par with that season 2 premiere with the Crate Dragon, where I was like fucking hype the whole time.
Yeah, I honestly think this is the best episode of the series
That's
so
what AJ
far.
was
But
saying. Yeah,
I said that too.
yeah,
But Sam talked me down to top 3, but I was like, I don't know, maybe. Like,
you can think it's the best episode. I just think that
I
yeah.
thought it was really good.
that Crate Dragon episode, I was shocked with how they did that IMAX fucking changing of the frame of the screen. I was blown away.
The Crate Dragon episode is also sick. What makes this episode stand out to me though is that it's not just Din. We're seeing all the Mandalorians be
Oh.
Mandalorians, and it's just
Kicking
so
ass.
good. I just
Like,
loved
they-
it so much.
I love the callback to when like they're like, oh, Din, like you're outnumbered 10-1. He's like, I like
I
those
like
odds.
those
I like
odds.
those odds, yeah.
Yeah, when he said that, oh my god. People,
Like it was like maybe like what like 15, 20 Mandalorians going into like an army of like a couple dozen pirates, maybe even more, like
A
100.
few more it seemed, yeah, because like there was a lot of people in the streets. There was like the
And they were whooping ass. Like it was. Oh man, it was so good.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
really
Really good episode. Super important lore implications too. With
Yeah.
them getting the planet, and I just loved it. I wish that I had more to say. 'Cause I just like every aspect of this episode was just perfect to me.
Yeah, I
see,
totally
like,
agree.
when the Mandalorians were like jumping out of Bo-Katan's ship and like dropping in, I was like on the edge of my seat. Like, this is
Yeah.
the coolest. This is
Oh.
the coolest. Like, this is just peak Star Wars to me, where it's like the story took a backseat for a little bit and they just did cool sci-fi shit.
Oh my god!
And I
yeah.
just loved it. That's what I want, man. Everybody got to do a cool thing. The armorer got to do a cool thing.
Yeah, she fucking rolled up on the tower and just wiped
Right?
them all out. That was
fucking-
awesome.
Paz got a
As
moment.
drop it in. Oh my god!
Like, everybody got to do a cool thing in this episode, and that was just, whew. It's just great. Great episode. I'm a little biased, obviously, because I like seeing Mandalorians do Mandalorian shit.
I like how like the
but,
background Mandalorians
man.
just like blue and brown helmets.
You know, I really enjoy that their armor is so mismatched because it's supposed to look like they just kind of pieced it together. But
Yeah.
I'm so glad that we got to see them not just be jobbers.
Yeah.
Like, they weren't just getting their ass. They were kicking ass, like random ones. And that's great. Like, when it showed the little dudes, little like mechanic guys cheering,
Yeah,
that
the
was me, bro.
Angelus. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was me, dude. I was like, yeah.
And even the fucking like I love Navarro is a great planet in the show because it's like the thing we've seen the most. We keep coming back here and we see it grow and change into like this actual community. In season 1, we saw I can't remember what they're called right now. Terrible Star Wars moment. Salacious B. Crumbs. We saw them getting eaten, and now they're just chilling out in the trees, right? In this episode, the fucking like Salacious B. Crumb like literally helped the Mandalorians by pointing out where the
Yeah.
enemies were. Like little shit like that. Where I'm like,
Yeah, that was
oh
great.
my god! Like everyone in the community,
They
is
are
coming-
sentient. Oh my
everyone
god!
in the
Like,
community is like coming together to like help, and the Mandalorians are here to help. They're the new like fucking marshals of the planet. Like that's dope as fuck to me.
Yeah, I think it's super cool that like we have something to root for in Star Wars again that isn't just dumb Jedi shit that everyone is sick of. Like we have a thing to root for now, and it's different, and they feel more important because they can get shot and die. Whereas like Jedis are like, well, they're gonna survive everything
Unless
until
you're a
they don't.
background Jedi.
Yep, until they don't. Like Mandalorians are just dudes in armor. You know, they gotta be careful.
You bringing up the Jedi thing reminded me of a little bit of a point I wanted to bring up earlier. My thing with the creed and the code with the Mandalorians and them being super stringent on it, I think comes from a place of like, in Star Wars, I feel like what we've been at least sort of taught is that like, if you are super committed to a code, it is kind of a hindrance. You know, like how like the Jedi, like if you super adhere to their code, it hindered them, right? Like it caused the downfall of their group. So that's kind of what I'm feeling with the Mandos, right? Where it's like if you follow this code to like the T, it might lead you down a path of like being super...
I disagree with that in every capacity, because I don't think it was like the adherence to the Jedi way that made the Jedis fall. It's the opposite. The Jedi strayed from what they were supposed to be and became politicians.
Yeah.
That's what fucked the Jedi. Not their code. Their code almost was meaningless in the end.
But I don't know. Like I feel like the code where like Mace Windu is super adherent to like following rules and following.
Well,
I
agree on both ends. Where like they sort of lost their way, but like the code you were saying, like you're saying, like where like they show no emotion.
Like, not that one necessarily, but just like their general rules, like with like the like you're not allowed to form like the attachments and shit like that. Where it's like,
well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like show no like have no attachments, feel nothing, pretty much.
I would say that code that the Jedi follow is directly responsible for the Jedi becoming so successful, and no longer following that code is what doomed them.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think they should be able to, you know, feel their let their emotions be more open.
The Sith think that too.
Yeah, but Sith like allow that to like make I don't know, like you if you're
my
now,
thinking this entire time, ever since I first started watching Star Wars, like why don't they just combine the two? You know, make a third option that's just the best of both worlds. You know,
but don't call it Grey Jedi, please.
It's not Grey Jedi. Make it something cooler, where it's like you follow the teachings of the Sith and the Jedi, and then just they balance each other out.
I feel like we are taught at the end of Return
of the Revenites.
At the end of Return of the Jedi, we are like taught that like the attachments and these emotions that you follow like are beneficial to an extent. It's just that when you take it to be like to do where like Anakin does it, right, where it's about possession and like I love you so much that I cannot lose you, like that kind of thing.
It's
right?
more than Anakin. The same thing. Like we outright see in the movies that when the Jedi start to break from their code, things fall apart. It happens to Obi-Wan as well. Like, if they don't follow their code, they are basically breaking their entire way of life and everything falls apart. The Jedi existed for thousands and thousands of years by following that code, and the moment that they stopped, it all died.
I think that's
like that speaks to the code.
That's about though, like being in like the military. That's a very specific, non-emotional part of what we're talking about right now.
I'm not sure. What do you mean being in the military?
Well, because like you're just saying like them joining in like the politics of the Republic and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, that's what doomed them.
Yeah, but that's not what I'm saying is like their code and stuff per se, right? Because like in
theory,
but
like, them getting involved in that is outright breaking their
think
code.
There's a lot of things that led to their downfall.
Yeah, for sure. But like
a person in general, like I just don't like
you are
super like when you make stringent codes, it's like religion, right? Like these religions create these codes that like people follow, and then it becomes a problem.
I live my entire life the complete opposite of that. If I'm not following a very strict set of beliefs and ideals, then I fall apart.
If I am following a strict code, I fall apart.
Yeah, I mean, I think that what we see with the Jedi is they are not supposed to be getting involved. They know this, but they do. And the moment that they do, they fall apart. And that to me just speaks to the fact that the Jedi Code is what kept them going. And the moment that they strayed from that path and they became entwined with the politics of the Republic and they became the enforcers of the Republic's desires in the galaxy, it all fell apart.
Well, it becomes
It's
a huge problem though, right? Because like the Jedi in general, because you can look at them even before that when, like, the logic of a Jedi is to like just help when it's necessary and keep balance, right? So
Right.
when do you do that? Like the morals of that are super questionable in the first place.
Right. Well, I mean, they're supposed to basically be like monks. The problem is once you have an academy and you're training Jedi like they're soldiers and they are literal soldiers, you're not following the code and you're barely even Jedis anymore. And that's kind of the point.
And
that's why they all died.
Yeah, but for how long, like, was that? Like, for how long of the Republic are you saying that, like, that particular, like, that vibe was happening? Just for, like, the Clone Wars? Or...
No, like, the entire... I mean, I don't know, like, the dates of, like, when this started and when it ended. Well, I know when it ended. But I don't know when it started. I don't think anyone does. But the moment that the Jedi stopped living, like, you know, a monk-like existence and they started, you know, taking kids and recruiting and growing and becoming literal soldiers for a political force in the galaxy, they stopped being Jedi, they lost their way, and they all died as a result. That's the story. That's the story of Star Wars.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I mean, like, them getting too close to the politics and stuff, I agree. But it's like, I just think that, like, their adherence to, like, that code, that, like, the first person started, like, for sure, like, had, like, good intentions. But then it just goes into, like, its own thing. Like, people take what they want from, like, that.
I think that it's supposed to be, like, similar to in real life. Like, you can look at a monk, and you can think, like, that monk lives a very specific way, and I don't think that way's for me. And you can make the decision independently that maybe that monk's way of life is not a good way of life. But to that monk, it's everything. Yeah. You know, like... It's to the Jedi, their way of life was extremely important. And when they stray far away from that way of life, it's over. The whole thing's over. And of course, we can look at it and say, like, the Jedi way is stupid. Most of the galaxy would agree. But it isn't to them.
Well, that's why, you know? My favorite part of The Last Jedi is probably when Yoda comes in and is like, yo, like, fucking Luke, stop looking to the past and make your shit the way it just should be, because we didn't do it right.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah, well, that's like Luke's whole problem, is he's trying to replicate the Jedi the way they were when they fell. When he should be making it his own way.
That's like the
it's
best
a pretty
shit they
popular,
did in that
like fan understanding that Yoda himself is almost directly responsible for the fall of the Jedi.
Yeah.
And like I would say that that's almost confirmed by the new movies. Like Yoda, like as a Force ghost, Yoda realizes he fucked up.
Yeah,
because not only was Yoda responsible for ingraining the Jedi into the Republic, responsible for training so many children to become literal child soldiers, which they don't talk about that part.
And responsible for letting Mace Windu be a fucking asshole to everyone.
Right, and then when shit goes bad, what did Yoda do? He fucking ran.
Yeah.
So I mean, I would say Yoda's kind of a piece of shit.
From the past.
Yeah, and then what I liked even you can look at it like, I don't know if they intended this in the original trilogy at first, but like even when they're teaching Luke and he's like, yeah, like they're trying to teach him, and it feels like even the same ways that they were doing before, and even after, like, when they die and see that Luke like actually managed to redeem Vader, it's like, oh shit, like he fucking did it, bro.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Obi-Wan was like, bro, you gotta fucking kill him.
He showed Vader love.
You can't save this guy. You gotta fucking kill him, bro. And then like he does, and it's like, oh my god, Luke, you're fucking dope, dude.
It reminds me of like of I don't know if you guys get this. Have you seen Avatar: The Last Airbender?
Only 8 episodes.
At like the end, Aang asks like a bunch of the past avatars for like how to defeat the Fire Lord, and he got pissed off because none of them offered like vegan options. They're all like, "Fucking kill him, just get rid of him," you know. Like, but he's like, "No, I don't want to."
That's dope.
Anyway, this is a really good episode.
That's a connect. You actually connected tissue because Dave Filoni worked on that show. So nice.
Oh, he did.
It's all connected.
It was all intended.
And then like he found a new way and did it better. So what I'm saying is, fuck the elders. Let's do it our way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really, like I just want to jump on that last scene again. Really well directed. I thought Carson Tevin was gonna die. It's like it was super spooky.
Yeah, it was very tense. I loved it.
Some
Yeah.
fucking xenomorph was gonna jump out of the ship or something at him. I don't know, man. I was scared.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the ending as well. I thought it was a nice little bow tie to what was already a stellar episode.
Yeah,
You know,
dude,
like
the
they-
fucking astromech having a probe for his
Like,
like
yeah,
little
like,
they
neat.
thing.
It's
showed
really
how
cool.
that fucking goes. Like, that's so cool. Like, because you see R2 whip that up, and in the Legos, it's just like, oh yeah, it's just a little fucking thing that pops out of his head. Nope, not how
It's
I'm
just a little
interpreting that
eyeball or
anymore.
whatever the fuck. But no, this one can fly away.
I'm
and it
assuming now
makes-
all of them can do that.
Probably. And honestly, as soon as that happened, I was like, huh, yeah, that makes sense.
But it's
love it.
useful.
I
Useful.
fucking
Very
love it.
useful.
I just wanted to ask
Um,
though, in this scene specifically, because we talked about like that Beskar thing in there. What is it? Like, what is that supposed to be?
Like a Beskar shard.
Yeah. Like,
I if I had to guess, I would say probably like a piece of armor that got shot or like chipped off.
okay.
I don't think it's like it's any
Let's
kind of
see.
like important thing.
Yeah, no, because like I just was like confused at like what they're trying to convey. Like, I get that that's like scoring. I think they're like from like some fire damage or something like that, and then that.
Yeah, it looks just like a chip
Okay.
of Beskar.
Yeah, I think that like there was just a shot and it probably like scraped off of someone's armor or something. But
I wonder if we're
knows?
gonna like see that scene later. Like, we're gonna see Gideon and then get like a flashback to like what happened to explain this. I don't know.
We
will.
may.
Probably not. The show doesn't really
We
do
may.
that kind of thing. The show does a lot of
Um,
off screen, and I'm like, okay, it's cool, but like, whatever.
I've been trying to think of like other Mandalorians that could have been involved in this job, and all I can think is that it's going to be Axwos and Casca Reeves because they're the only named Mandalorians in the show other than Boba that we haven't seen.
It could. I mean, Boba would be like. He wouldn't really be into that, I think, anymore though. Yeah, because
Old
like,
Boba
It's
would have
actually,
done that.
it's actually
I'm boss,
Pre
Boba.
Vizsla's like unknown uncle, Kaz Vizsla.
Kaz Vizsla.
Kaz
Actually,
Vizsla.
speaking on that, I think it's about time. Unless you guys have anything else you want to say about this episode,
We're gonna raid into
Nope.
Kazmataz.
We're gonna
That's
raid
all I
into
got.
Kazmataz.
Playing D&D.
Doing some awesome art as usual. As the DM. All right. But yeah, as always, it was a blast chatting with you guys about this episode. It's actually nice that we like all were so like into it. Like,
Yeah, it's a pretty rare thing that all three of us are like, this was the shit.
this was fucking awesome, man. Let's do some of those as peaks. Yeah, now I'm worried because Saturday we're going to be doing our Bad Batch finale.
And I hate that show.
Oh god.
Oh, dude, that was a great ending.
I
though.
actually like had a good time, but I had a thing where like last week we said like if this happens, I'm gonna be mad. It happened, but
I haven't
You guys
seen it
just
yet.
sent me something about that.
I haven't seen it yet. Don't tell me.
I won't say anything.
But
I'm
send me
not
what you-
mad. I'm like
Send me what you mean.
Okay,
I think.
okay.
Oh wait, maybe I do know what you mean.
Shut up.
I'm not
Say
mad.
no more.
I just am like
Off we go.
all right.
McClunky.
McClunky
McClunky.
gang. See you later.